Hello, Phương Mai. Hello, Phương Mai.
Hello.
Can you hear me, Phương Mai?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So, good evening, Phương Mai. How are you? How are you?
Fine here and you?
I'm okay. So, are you ready for the next session? Next topic?
Okay.
This is just a short topic. Wait. Is the screen visible to you, Phương Mai?
Yes.
Okay. Can you see it?
Đêm hôm thấy con mèo đứng một múa lân, đọc comment còn sợ hơn vì nghe có chuyện tâm linh.
Okay, so here's our next topic, Phương Mai. It is entitled My Life as a Rebel. It is entitled My Life as a Rebel. Can you please read the first paragraph, Phương Mai?
My active repellent started when was of directed toward my parents, school, and anyone in authority. As time went on, I kept getting into bigger and bigger jams. One after another, my dad said I needed this discipline, and sooner or later I would get it. Uh, whether in the army or in prison. But of course, I laughed in his face. I had done some experiment, experimenting with alcohol,
Yes, alcohol and
alcohol and drugs, and was in a fog a lot of the time. Somehow I made it through high school, but I found
flunked.
out of college and went into the army. It all attitude got me sent home in less than 6 months with a dishonorable exchange. It didn't take me long to get into trouble with law, but I was lucky again. I got off on probation.
Okay, thank you for reading, Phương Mai. So, let us first highlight this word. This word. This is read as or pronounced as rebellion. Can you repeat it again? It is pronounced as rebellion.
What?
Rebellion. This word is pronounced as rebellion.
Repellent.
Okay. And wait, I've seen it. as time went on. This one is discipline. Discipline.
Discipline.
And next is this word is pronounced as experimenting. Experimenting.
Experimenting.
Okay, good. And this one is flunk. Flunk.
Flunk.
And this one is dishonorable. The letter H is silent, so it is pronounced as dishonorable.
Dishonorable.
Okay, good job. And this one is pronounced as discharge.
This.
Okay, and the last one is pronounced as probation. Okay, so did you get the pronunciation of these words, Fung Mai? Just remember those pronunciation of those words, okay? Okay, so let us proceed to here. The words and let's define or read each definition. So this short content is entitled My Life as a Rebel. So this word should be highlighted here. The word rebel. So what does rebel mean? Rebel, it says there, who opposes people in authority or accepted ways of doing things. I will type the word and the definition of the word rebel in the chat box, okay, Fumai? So you can see it clearly. So that is the meaning of the word rebel. Who opposes people in authority. So do you know the definition of the word authority, Fungmai? Do you have any idea of the word of that word authority? Your microphone is off, Fungmai. Okay, that's it. So do you have an idea of the word authority, Fungmai?
Actually, no.
Okay, so let me give you a definition of the word authority. So that you can be enlightened. So this one. Power of command or influence. So the word authority means power of command or authority. Power of command or influence. So mostly the people who have authority, it means it has the right. And the people who has authority is what we call the government. So in your country, do you know that you have government there, Fung Mai? You have the rules and regulations in your own country, right, Fung Mai?
Right.
Okay, so that is what you call, and those who proposes the rules and regulations are the government, and they have the authority, the power of command or influence. Next is the word rebellion. So it is the same as rebel. It is the opposition to in authority or to accepted rules. Next is, so here's the one, another definition of the word authority. Power to make decisions or tell people what to do. So since we have the government, they have the rules and regulations that they tell to us, and that is we should follow too. Next is jam, difficult situation. Sometimes in our country, jam is called bonding. Do you know the word bonding, Phung Mai?
No.
So in our country, we use the word bonding, and it is similar to this word, the jam, word jam. Since in this topic, it is defined as difficult situation. But in our country, the Philippines, we use the word bonding, which means a simple get together in which one or many other person gather together. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Next is in a fog, confused and unable to think clearly. So this is just simple in a fog. So do you see or did you see already a fog? Phung Mai, do you know what fog is?
Fog or weather.
Yes, especially when it is raining. There is a fog. Do you see that? Or did you already see
Yeah.
that? Okay. So, especially when it is also cold, most especially fog happens in mountainous area. So, if we relate it into reality, for example, we have a brain and our brain is used to think, right? But sometimes if we think too much, so our mind falls or it is full of fog, and then it resulted into being confused and unable to think clearly. So just simple as that, it means to feel confused and unable to think clearly. Next is make it through. Manage to continue doing until it is finished. So did you already experience having a hard time, Phung Mai? When
Part
it
time.
comes, yes, when it comes to studies, having a difficult situation
I
or
think
a
is
hard time.
sorry.
Did you already experience having a
Yes.
hard time? Okay. So, simple as that, make it through means when you have a hard time, you think of a solution for that. And that's what the solution that you've used can make you through it. Or you can overcome the difficult situation or the hard time you've experienced. Next is flunked out. This is what the words that is given. Be forced to leave a school or college because of poor scholastic performance or fail. So similar to flunked out is the word kicked out. Have you heard already of that word, Phung Mai? Kicked out.
Kicked out.
Yes. Say for example, in if you have a team and then your performance is low, then your coach might kick you out. Did you get
Okay.
did you get that point, Phung Mai?
Yes.
Okay. Next is discharge. This means dismissal or release. So dismissal, another example for that is when you have a class and after the whole session, your teacher will dismiss you. Like what we are going to do in the last part of our session, I say goodbye and you say goodbye, and that is the time when our class was dismissed. Next is get off, get little or no punishment for a crime. So You simply get off, you get rid of it. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So let's again start with this one. My active rebellion started when I was 16. So the narrator in this story started rebelling when he or she rebelled, and at the age of 16 he or she started doing or being an active rebel. It was, of course, directed towards my parents, school, and anyone in authority. So here's the word authority there. As time went on, I kept getting into bigger and bigger jams. What again is the definition of jam, Pung Mai?
Yeah.
It is when the
Mm,
person experience difficult what? This one. Difficult situation.
mm,
Okay, got it, Pung Mai? Jam is when the person experiences difficult situation in his or her life, okay? So one after another. My dad said I needed discipline and sooner or later I would get it, whether in the army or in prison. Since this child is a rebel child, his dad or his or her dad told him or her that she or he needed discipline, whether in the army or in prison. So there are two, whether in the army or in prison. But of course, I laughed in his face. This one, I laughed in his face when his or her dad told him that. I had done some experimenting with alcohol and drugs and was in a fog. So since the narrator in this topic experiences jams being in a difficult situation, always drinking alcohol and drugs, so the person in this story was forced into the path where his or her mind was confused, since it was told there was in a fog a lot of time. Somehow I made it through high school. So the person in there graduated high school. But I flunked out of college and went into the army. So when he or the persona got into college, Fung Mai? Yes or no? What do you think?
yep.
Okay.
Yes.
So yes, that is correct. The persona in there got into college, but sooner he went into the army. My know-it-all attitude got me sent home in less than 6 months with a dishonorable discharge. It didn't take me long to get into trouble with the law, but I was lucky again. I got off on probation. So he was flunked out of college and went into army, but since the persona in there is a rebel child, he got a dishonorable discharge or being released from the army. Okay. So the next paragraph, Fung Mai, can you please read it?
But of course, we got into another mess bigger than this time, and the 12 years I'm in prison now. I don't have any freedom or good food or polite com- compan- pension companionship. I miss my parents and friends. I count the days until I can get out of here and try again to make a different kind of life for myself.
Okay, thank you for reading Fung Mai. So, but of course, I only got into another mess, bigger this time. So, after he was discharged or released from the army, he got into another mess again or another difficult situation in his life. So, bigger this time, and this time the judge gave me 12 years. I'm in prison now. So, where does he live now, Fung Mai? What place?
Please.
Yes. He told that he is in where? Okay, good job. So the persona in there is in prison now. I don't have any freedom or good food or polite companionship. So this word is pronounced as companionship. Again, Fung Mai, pronounce it. Companionship.
Companionship.
Okay. So remember that it is pronounced as companionship. Okay. So since the persona in there is in prison now, he doesn't even have freedom or good food. Since you know, if you are in prison, you have a limited space, right, Fung Mai?
Right.
And there are barriers such as the walls and the gates that is being built on prison. I miss my parents and friends. So since the persona in there has no freedom and polite companionship, so he misses his parents and friends. I count the days until I can get out of here and try again to make a different kind of life for myself. So in this last sentence, he has now a short realization about what has happened to him in prison. Okay? Can you please read the last paragraph, Fung Mai? The
Point I
point.
want to make is this. Even if you don't agree with your parents, listen to them. They have been your age, even if it was a long time ago, but you have never been theirs. If you make a mistake, don't try to lie your way out of it. Take the
Consequences. Consequences.
consequences when people who care about you tell you something. Listen to I realize I was wrong about all the important things. If just one person learns something from this, I will have done some good in the world. Laugh if you want to, but when you end up behind bars, who is the joker then?
Okay, good job, Fung Mai. So this word is pronounced as consequences. You've already pronounced it correctly. So the point I want to make is this. So this last paragraph, he told what his realization about what has happened to him. So the point I want to make is this. Even if you don't agree with your parents, listen to them. So since from the start, this child is a rebel child. And do you still remember that he laughed at his face of his dad? So this is where his realization. Even if you don't agree with your parents, listen to them. They have been your age, even if it was a long time ago, but you have never been theirs. So the second sentence means that our parents also have experienced the age that we had. So they have a lot of experiences than ours. Okay, so they have the more knowledge, and that is why it refers to the first sentence that even if you don't agree with your parents, you must listen to them. If you make a mistake, don't try to lie your way out of it. Take the consequences. So whatever your actions is, you must take the consequences. When people who care about you tell you something, listen to them. So just like the saying that no man is an island, so we are surrounded by people, right? So the advice that the other people has given to us might be helpful for us. Okay? And I now realize I was wrong about all the important things. If just one person learns something from this, I will have done some good in the world. Laugh if you want to, but when you end up behind bars, who is the joker then? So, simply, he has given to us his realizations about the actions that he have done to his father when he laughed at his face, and then as a rebel child he got into prison, and then he realized that there in prison he had no freedom, no food, no good companionship, and misses his parents and friends due to being behind the bars or in prison. Okay, now did you get the whole point of this topic, Fung Mai? My life as a rebel? Your microphone is off, Fung Mai. Did you get the whole point, Fung Mai, of the topic?
Yes.
Okay. So after reading the whole story, do you have any also realization about it, Fung Mai? Can you share? Can you share your realization or your idea about the whole topic, Fung Mai?
I don't really understand.
You don't really understand the whole topic?
Yes.
Okay. I will repeat it to you or just give you a short summary about this one. So there's this child in this topic. The persona in there is just 16 years old, and he is a rebel child, which means he or she opposes the things that his or her father told to him. Okay, did you get that, Fung Mai?
Okay.
And when he did not listen to his father or dad, he got into prison. So after being in prison, he realized that he doesn't have any freedom, good food, or polite companionship, and misses his parents and friends. So we have a realization here that we should always listen to our parents so that we will not go into any difficult situation. And the last paragraph was the realization or the whole point of the son in the topic. So he said, I now realize I was wrong about all the important things. So the whole point of this topic is that we should listen to our parents even if we don't want to. Okay, do you get that, Fung Mai?
Yes.
Okay, so that is what the whole point of the story. If we have bad actions today, bad doings today, then we must take the consequences of that actions in the future. Okay? Got it, Phung Mai? Okay, Phung Mai, did you got it?
Yes, you.
This one, I will the importance. Okay, wait.